Welcome to the Villain's Perspective Podcast. I'm James Jones. I'm here with the lovely Mika G Redd.
Hey, I've been missing you guys.
And Mr. Jeremy Spann himself.
Salute.
So last time we had a conversation about strong, independent women versus weak men, and Mika was out. So I'd love to get Mika's perspective on that, and then we're going to jump into the other topics: Kamala versus Donald, and we're going to wrap things up with talking about the situation with Diddy and everything going on with him.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh man, I enjoyed watching you guys on the last episode. I think y'all did a phenomenal job on just explaining your perspectives and everything, and just me thinking of a strong, independent woman. I like to take the independent out, but since I can't, since that's our topic, I would say that's just a lady who gets the job done, stand on business without being asked or without saying, okay, somebody needs to do this. She's the lady who doesn't make excuses for anything. You know, she handles the business with or without a man. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times everybody's like, you gotta have a man to do this, you gotta have a man to do this. But when you're thinking about a strong, independent woman, she's, like Mario was saying, she's probably so strong and independent because she's been hurt or let down, disappointed by men, which have made her have to be her own breadwinner, her own boss. But when you think about, when I think about a strong woman, it takes me back to like my grandmother, my great grandmother, because I had my great grandmother getting off the bus, like even in Head Start. So I always, when I think about a strong woman, I think about the people who were the homemakers, who, because most of everybody's great grandmothers stayed home semi. It's kind of like the mom era is when you really seen the working women in my perspective right now. Okay, so when I think about strong woman, I'm thinking just taking care of everything, the kids, the bills. Not saying that she's paying them, but her husband is giving her the bread to make everything run. You know what I'm saying? And she's not a complainer. Mm-hmm. She's a doer. She's the one who keeps everything rolling. Because when you think about when grandmother dies, mother dies, everybody's like, the family is not the same. Nobody says that like when grandpa or somebody dad dies, but when grandma dies, like the family is no longer the family, because she was the strong woman who knew how to keep everybody's feelings from being hurt, to keep everybody working together, to mend hearts, men relationships, to let you know, hey, it's gonna be okay, to just reassure you that you're on the right track. And if you're not on the right track, she's there to give you insight on how to get there. So that's what I think when I think about a strong woman. And like I said, when I think about a strong independent woman, I'm like, okay, starting out, I was before marriage, I was like, yeah, I'm this strong, independent woman, but I was a strong, independent woman because of the fact that I didn't have a man. You know what I'm saying? I had to be my own strong, independent woman. But
wouldn't that be called being an adult?
Yeah, that's just, yeah. But you know how people want a title to everything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think they have just overdid that. And I'm gonna say why. Listen, followers. Because strong, independent women still have to call somebody else man to get things done. Like, especially if they are not trying to take their car to the dealership and things of that nature. Mm-hmm. You calling somebody else man to do your brakes and do this, and then they have the little crazy remarks of, well, he ain't my man, or he ain't this. But so you still need a man, or you still desire a man, but you don't want to put in the work to keep a man. And people say, I'm a man, you can't keep a man. I understand that. But you're not putting in the work on yourself to have your own man, because you rather call somebody else man, or even make booty calls with somebody else man instead of get your own man, right? Because you're like, I ain't going through this, I ain't gonna be cheated on. But you are being cheated on. You are, because you're
cheating yourself.
Yeah, you're cheating yourself out of real happiness, because you desire to be that wife. You desire to be that homemaker, but because you won't do the work on yourself or take accountability, you'll say, well, I'm bossy. I'm a strong, independent woman. I ain't got time for that. But you really do, because you take time to do and cook for somebody else, man. Whether you making reservations and just bringing takeout in, whatever, you're still wanting to be with somebody else's spouse, friend, guy, whatever, because he might not be married, but you know what y'all be out here doing. So I ain't got to keep breaking that down, but I am saying this is my perspective of...
Wouldn't bossy be another term for... Bossy is a short term for... is one word for saying, I don't know how to cohabitate with somebody.
Or I'm not going to.
Or incapable of.
Yeah, that's it right there.
Because nobody has a strong desire to be by themselves. But we do, at certain times, men and female, have a desire to defend ourselves, more particularly when we don't want to change.
Ooh, yeah.
Because where we are, and this goes to when we're talking about strong, independent women. And I'd like to clarify from the last episode, I'd like to clarify there's a difference between, I'd like to strongly clarify that there's a difference between being a strong, independent woman and being a wife.
Oh, yeah.
Wives look at the world in a different manner. Wives look at relationships differently than strong, independent women.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because everybody is today, where we are, the three of us are right now in our lives in this shop, are an accumulation of actions or inactions, your thoughts, and your reactions. All three of those things place us where it is that we are, literally and figuratively, right now. Because there's some decisions that you made. Yeah. There's some decisions that you started making. We both started making at 6:30 this morning.
Yes, yeah.
That led us to be where it is that we are right now. Yes. We had to rearrange some things. We had to say no to some things. We had to say yes to some things. We had to do some things before we left the house to be where it is that we are right now. Sir. So if we're looking at a lifetime of, if you are past middle age and you're placing yourself in a position, if you've placed yourself in a position where you are incapable of being with somebody else, and you're looking at all men, well, you can't tell a woman that's been married for 20 years and she's 45 and she got married at 25 or she got married at 20.
Yeah.
You can't tell her that it ain't no good men out here.
No.
She found one.
Yeah. You're not gonna tell that. and
the woman that's getting married.
Yeah, he found her. Yeah, because and when you just said that, I have to say this. When men do see us, we are already wives. When it's that moment that they like, oh my goodness, I gotta have her.
Ain't nothing you can do to stop him.
Do you hear me, Doctor?
When he want that woman, he goes, woo, I'm going to outcompete other competitors.
Yes.
Even the ones that you done told me about as we're courting, the ones that you done told me about, I got to outcompete them.
Yes.
And I'm going to outcompete the ones that I think that you may be attracted to.
Yes.
When a man finds a wife.
Yeah.
When he finds a wife.
Yes.
Yeah. Not just any woman.
Right. Not when he finding a strong, independent woman.
Come on.
Yeah.
When he finds a woman that has been trained to be a wife, especially if he's been trained to be a man.
Yes.
If he's been trained to be a head of household, if he's been trained to be a stand-up man, if he's been trained to even be compassionate for another man's child.
Come on now.
He's gonna do what it is that he's supposed to be doing, and you can't stop him all the way up until the point where it's like, I might need to change because I've been thinking blah blah blah, and I might have to change my ways. I might have to start shutting up.
Yeah.
Why would women want to compete in a male's world with men? You ain't built for this.
No.
It's some things that I don't want to have to do.
Yeah.
And so I work harder to be able to pay somebody to come do some stuff around the house. But every now and then I know I need to show my wife I know how to get dirty.
Right.
It must. I need to let her know she got a man.
That's right.
I'm lazy, which is why I'm smart enough to be able to work for my money to be able to pay somebody. But I'm paying you for what it is I already learned how to do. I just don't want to have to do it.
Yeah.
I think you made a necessary distinction because just based on feedback that I got after the last episode, some people feel like we were just dumping off on all women. Mm-hmm. But we were talking specifically about a subset of women that use, they dismiss the value of partnership, or they don't want to take accountability for their choices, or, just find pride in being problematic, use those things almost as a shield to avoid accountability.
Yeah.
And we're not just talking about all women.
No. That's what I really wanted to clarify. Like, we're not putting all women or all men in the same category. But if you hear what we're saying and it applies to you, then you need to do some self-evaluations to either, upgrade your choices and decisions, or to be like, okay, fine, I think I'm on the right step, because we're not in your household to know what you are, our followers, you know what I'm saying? Mm. So we're just saying what we see, and this is just our perspective. So we don't want y'all to be like, oh, I'm not that woman, or I'm not that man. No, we're not saying that you are. We're just showing you that it's some bad seeds out here.
Well, it's
some really good. Yeah,
I'm saying they are, because
I love this villain. This is top villain.
I'm saying it now. There's a window, and a gentleman said something to me. We were having a conversation, and he was just like, Span, I'm starting to see that some of these women are. They're changing, they're coming around and blah, blah, blah. I said, no, you're starting to circulate and modulate and matriculate into areas where women are and have been that are those type of women. I said, but unfortunately, what you don't recognize as a man, the women that you're saying that say that they have learned their lessons, you are not taking into consideration their ages. So when he was saying, I said, well, so what ages are they? He's like, well, 31, 32, 33. And I said, boy, you been played. And he was like, no, so you mean to tell me that they playing me? And I said, yes, because if from 18 to 25 to 27, let's say 18 to 27, she's done what it is that she wants to do in the name of being liberated and being, a modern woman, or whatever you want to call it. And she's done everything that she wants to do. All of a sudden, what he does not know, and what I had to explain to him, her biological clock is towards its end when she gets to 31, 32, 33. Yeah. And especially she's going to date for an extended period of time. Hopefully by the time that she's 34, 35, if she's subconsciously saying, holy
roly, donut stop. Yeah.
I'm eventually I'm not going to be able to provide a man with a legacy. So all of that independence and that strength that I've been having and displaying in the past, in my early 30s and my late 20s, I got to learn how to shut the hell up, because I want to be protected and I want to be loved and I want somebody to be there for me. And the guys are saying, well, baby, if you can't provide me with a legacy, then what's your value? Because when the money that you make is yours, I don't care about your degrees, and you have this. Well, I did this, and this is my house, and that's well. If that's your house, and that's your money, and that's your degree, but whatever I make, I have to do for all of us. You're in now. How long do you have before you can have babies?
Who hurt you, Jeremy?
Hold on.
He is top villain.
But see, he asked me that question, and I said that's what happened when men become feminized. Because if the question is who hurt you, Jeremy, does that mean that we're accepting that women do hurt men?
Well,
we have to be. Hold on. We have to be accepting that if there are good men that are out here trying to take care of women, and women are passing over good guys, there are a boatload of hurt guys.
Oh yeah.
So, because if women are only having sex with those 10% of men that are 6 foot tall, making six figures, and got six pack and everything, at that point, when the guys that don't have all of those attributes are being looked over because women keep thinking that they can do better, which is why most women file for divorce, because it's like, well, I wasn't happy. I ain't saying that he wasn't doing everything right. I'm just not happy.
I can do better.
So if you can do better, that means that you're willing to destroy the lives of children, destroy this man who has been ready to die for you since y'all been dating, and he's ready to kill for you. Now that y'all are husband and wife, and you're saying that you're going to terminate the marriage and destroy these lives for your happiness and not for the betterment of the children and the family structure? There are a lot of hurt men.
Yeah.
And guess who the villains are?
The men?
Hell no. Because men rarely file for
children.
I thought you said who gets called the villain.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that too. Because, I mean, even the good guys are getting called the villains because it's just like, I mean,
he was emotionally abusive.
He just couldn't make me happy. Wait a minute. What do you mean he couldn't make
me happy? And that's the thing.
Emotional abuse?
Yeah. He didn't talk to me right. He didn't bring me flowers. He didn't he didn't express how well I performed or how I did my wifely duties. But it's women will leave if they're no longer happy. And but you have to see how much work that they put in, to assure their happiness. And I think when they feel like they're no longer appreciated and they're not happy, it's like, I gotta go.
All right, well, but at what point is safety predicated around happiness? It's not. Because if I think I said it on 3 shows back, I've had a conversation in the past. I'm not concerned about making my family happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm protecting the perimeter of my house.
Yeah.
I can't be outside protecting my family and inside tickling the shit out of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, because I'm only one person, and especially because I think most of where it is that we are in this conversation. When we're talking, because I have just as much to say about the men that are too soft, but we'll talk about one of the comments, and I'll say this, and then that'll kind of be a segue into that, which still is a part of the same conversation. But if most of where it is that we are is because figuratively we got a whooping without being parented afterwards, which means that if you got a whooping and you're a child and you didn't get explained to why you were getting that whooping, the only thing you did was just become more cynical as a kid, because it's like, my parents always whipping me, but I don't even know what I did.
Yeah, no lesson behind it.
Right.
Yeah.
So when grandma was, well, great grandmama or grandmama was raising the kid, nah, baby, don't do that, and you need to do blah blah blah, and you need to be strong. Well, wait a minute, Grandma, you telling me what it is that I'm supposed to be doing as a woman, or you're telling me what it is I'm supposed to be doing as a man, but you're not telling me why. You're not telling me how. It's almost like when we send our children to school, like, you better stay focused in school. I cannot explain what focus is. You can't explain what focus is. And better yet, we can't even. We've been telling our children, stay focused, be quiet in school, and blah blah blah. You ain't taught them how to focus. You ain't even taught them what focus is.
Come on. Yeah, that's a strategy that definitely need to be learned.
So the same thing goes into a relationship. And I've said it plenty of times before. Most of us were taught how to love by people that weren't doing it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's why a lot of people seek therapy now. You know, that's the biggest thing now.
You know, I don't know, man. Some people, I feel like they use that as, I'm going through therapy, but they're not really actually doing work or improving or making a change. It's almost like they use it as a status symbol, almost like, look at me, I'm in therapy. But it's like, okay.
Well, therapy could be, I want to go talk to a doctor to figure out what it is that I'm doing right that I can throw in your face.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you're going to, because I forget the guy's name, but he was doing a class, and he was doing a class on black men, and he was saying that a lot of white women were coming in. Well, at first, when he first started doing the class, a lot of black women were coming in. And what the black women were doing they were coming in learning about the black male species, and then they were going back and they were weaponizing that, which is the same thing that happens with a friend, a male friend, a girlfriend, whoever. If you tell something to somebody that you love, and they use that your vulnerability against, it's just like, and this is the same person. Even in a fit of rage, you said something that I said to you in confidence, and you using that against me, and I'm over here arguing my point.
Yeah.
And you said something because you're losing the argument. You said something. That's where the whole "who hurt you" comes from. Because if a woman, if we're having an argument on chess, and I'm winning the argument, wait a minute. Why you always mad? Or why you saying it like that? Or what? Who hurt you? What does that have to do with chess?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So we again, and this is what I tell my children. Most arguments, most things that are said in arguments, don't let it upset you, because it ain't what's being said. You need to figure out who's saying it and why they're saying it.
Yeah. Listen to understand.
Yeah.
Because if you start to defend yourself from what a person says, now they own you.
Right.
Because their intention is not to win the argument. They noticed that they lost the argument a long time ago.
Right.
Now, when you start responding to what's being said, you've lost your way.
Yeah.
You've even lost the argument, even though you was winning.
Yeah.
Even that question of who hurt you, I mean, that's almost like a trick bag question, because even if somebody did hurt me, does that make the lesson any less valuable?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that also, the same, who hurt you also is just like saying, well, I see what you're saying, but maybe if you said it in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like your tone.
Yeah.
The house on fire, get your ass out. Oh, I don't like how you said that.
Right.
Wait a minute. But the house is still on fire.
Right.
And you need to get out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but why you gotta say it so loud?
Right. Because I want you to get out. I don't want you to get burned up, So yeah, I totally get that.
And so, you were about to say something?
I was looking for that scripture. I was with the food, but I'll find it later. But yeah, when you were saying you tell your kids not to, argue back, that's kind of like, who's the fool?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If somebody walked up on y'all arguing, they like, oh,
two fools.
Yeah, you know. So I've done that myself too. Just be quiet. You're right.
But it's much more about the point of, and maybe I explained it wrong. My thing is, it's not don't argue. My thing is listen, be in tune to realize when the shift happens, because the shift is the shift happens when the question is asked or the comment is made. And my thing is, don't respond to the comment. Immediately start thinking, who's saying this to me and why did they just say that? That allows you to be quiet and rest in, I won. It's almost like when a black and white person is arguing. Whoever goes to the racial epithet first, in my mind,
They lost.
that person lost.
Because that's how they had. That was the only way they could.
Right.
Yeah.
As soon as you start going to personal,
Yeah.
even if you were right and you go to the racial epithet, it's like, you just lost.
Yeah.
And now I'm trying to invoke something so you can become violent. So now I can be the victim. Even though I lost the argument,
Come on.
now I want to be the victim by letting you hit me. So now that you hit me, or now that you do something to harm me, now I can start pressing charges. Now you're gonna lose your job, then you're gonna go to jail, and then you lose money. Whew, that was my intentions from the jump.
Because you listen, and like what we're doing, they don't even have to hit you. They type it in. And if you make the wrong comment, you've lost your job.
Yep.
You know, they look you up. They put your picture everywhere. They're like, yeah, you about to lose your job today. You're like, oh my goodness.
For a moment, realize, why did this person just say that?
Right.
Because we're too busy ready to defend ourselves.
Yeah.
So in the comment of that short that we put out, what was it that the young lady said?
She's fed up because good men are letting evil men ruin the world, basically.
Now, my perspective from that was, well, when I read it from the perspective of, because she said at some point she was like, I'm so tired of these good men.
Yeah.
And that caused alarm to me, because it was just like, yeah, I think she's right, because back in the day, anybody that was willing to say what needed to be said, even though it hurt feelings, but as long as it was right, those people made sure that consistency was top priority and everybody's safety. And because right now I'm not remotely concerned about how somebody feels, because if I'm telling you to get out of the road before you get hit, I'm not going to try to find the words. If you're my friend, and I don't have friends that cannot pull me to the side and be like, hey man, chill out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if you're with me and you sit and watch, because I used to have somebody in my life that I would notice when he would stop drinking. When we'd be out and about, when we were younger, I'd notice when he would stop drinking, just so he can see what it is that I would do. And he would still feed me drinks.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Just so, because he knew the more I drink, the more I would cut up.
Yeah.
Just so he'd be able to have something to say and tell people when we got back. And so what I started doing was, I built my tolerance up. If you're gonna buy these drinks, I'm gonna wear that damn pocket out. And still keep my
Nothing
control.
like a free drink.
There's nothing better than a double cross. The only thing better than a double cross is a triple cross. Yeah, I built up my tolerance. Yeah. Out when I get to the house, ain't nobody around.
Right. I've been ready again. But that free liquor.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I need y'all's opinion on the weak men though. Like, I don't want to speak on it, and
No,
so,
tell me. Why would
like, I
their feelings?
But no, I want to hear your perspective on a weak man. Like, you know, seriously.
I guess for me, I feel like it was
That's You know what I'm saying? You don't have like that only child syndrome.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because truly, like a good husband and wife ain't nothing but like two good, two good children that have just made the best of friends. Like ain't nothing separate them. You know what I mean? Because you're playful. You're hilarious together. You got, you and your partner, y'all like, oh my goodness, like you need to be a comedian. But it's just, y'all know how to conduct yourselves together, outside of the home, inside the home. People want to be around you, and those kind of couples be like, I don't really want no company. I ain't trying to go out.
Baby, sometimes me and Shannon go out and we be sitting over in the corner laughing and having a good time by ourselves.
Yes, you don't right. I'm like, we're a part of it too. Like we are, like
I'm gonna be laughing loud and shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
We tripped out. So it's like it's those people who you got a lot of jealous and envious people who won't take accountability for themselves so they can have a good partner. And then they just crap all over their friends like, girl or man, you want that woman, you doing this for this woman, you doing that. Or they won't even say it to you. Now they ain't gonna say it to you. They will say it to somebody in y'all's circle that they want it to be passed back to you. Okay, now y'all know that they want it to be passed back to you because they are cowards, and that insecurity that lies in them, is so jealous of what you and your mate have. And I said this before, they don't know what y'all went through to look like that.
Right.
They don't know what y'all went through to be your couple. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, you spend your money on your old lady. She got a car. She got this. They're like mean men. So I don't know. That's when you want to say, who hurt you? You know what's? Those are the people you need to be asking. Who hurt you? Why you cheating yourself out of a good relationship? You don't want to wash your own clothes. We looking at your t-shirt, how it's fitting on you, bro. You need somebody to help you.
So would it be safe to say that if there's a story where a woman was doing all that she could for a guy that was no good, and he left her and the children, could the reciprocate or the other side of that be a man that was doing all that he could for a woman in his family, and she left because she was unhappy, and then all of a sudden he was just like, I'm not gonna love anybody else again, and all of a sudden he becomes a strong, independent man?
You said we was gonna leave Puffy to the end, but sound like you done brought him up early. You see those men that are like, listen, I don't need no woman for nothing but one thing, cause I can, I can go by mama's or I can buy food anywhere. Yeah.
He got left for the better guy that ended up not being such a better guy, and then all of a sudden she came back. It's like, hey, big head.
Yeah. Hey, stranger.
Right.
Stranger danger, stranger danger.
But at the same time, let's talk about cynical. Let's talk about jaded. And we're talking about the guys that don't recognize, those guys that get butthurt because you didn't pick up on the signs of when a chick was dating you just for dinner. Because you do have those women that will date just for dinner. And I say to those weak guys, to those feeble-minded, well, man, I mean, you when you get a woman that will date a guy just for dinner, and then all of a sudden he continues to do things because his desire, he has such a strong desire to conquer this woman or to conquer, and he'll even start to hate on other guys.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? It'd be those guys. They'll hate on other guys. Like, man, it'd be the ones that get friend zoned And he think just because he changed a couple of tires at 3:00 in the morning, and he come over and light some pilot lights, putting his life in danger.
For the strong, independent woman,
Yeah,
that don't need a man.
right.
Oh,
And then all of a sudden, when he becomes cynical, I'm like, man, these man, he old, you know.
Yeah.
He was Prince Charming at one time because he was trying to do everything right. And then all of a sudden, we could become a alpha man.
Yeah.
them horns grow out.
got some fork on him.
He been buying food and then ended up babysitting kids. Why she out dating somebody else?
Hey,
In his car. In his car. This is a true story. I mean, like, seriously, like, yeah. And yeah.
That's a balance.
Yeah. Because you got some real soft, what do they call them, like tender?
It takes a healthy dose of asshole though.
Yeah, I ain't want to say it. You know what they call them.
It takes what, James?
I think that in men, like, we have to have a healthy dose of asshole. You know, like being an asshole.
The world does not progress without it. And I said it probably on the third. If it weren't for competition, if it weren't for audacity, if it weren't for assholes, we wouldn't have got past the Mississippi River.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have had the Louisiana Purchase.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have had Great Falls. You wouldn't have had the Black Hill Mountains. You wouldn't have been able to see the shores of California. You wouldn't have been able to see Washington State and all the beauty that is up, the Pacific Northwest, because we'd have been like, I don't know how to get across that bridge.
Fast.
Right. I don't know how deep it is. And then it's already somebody over there.
Yeah. Watch this.
Right. Right.
Moving on up.
If it weren't for that,
Yeah.
if it weren't for an asshole, you wouldn't have neighborhoods that say we're going to make sure that the value of our houses stay high.
All right.
We're going to require people to get their garbage cans off the street and keep your garage closed and make sure that you cut your grass. And everyone's like, man, I ain't want no HOA until you sell your house for $200,000 more than what you paid for.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
Man, y'all got some more of that HOA?
Yeah, you gotta have jerks.
Yeah.
I mean, life, the businesses that we work at is because somebody was an asshole.
Yeah. And said, I'm not doing this. I'm about to work for myself. Now you working for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. And the pain makes the purpose. So that jerk and done made purpose in your life to go ahead and push forward.
Yeah. Absolutely.
To be that independent woman or that independent man.
100%. Yeah.
Savannah, he's still a good man.
Mama, you playing me.
And you know what though? Just to go ahead and kind of bring this on to the front, like y'all were saying, we need to find good families to marry our children off. Well, in the I guess in this P Diddy situation, you're saying, people are saying, where were the parents? Well, they done sold their kid off.
Nigga, these were adults.
Yeah.
Well. So not all of them now, because old Justin Bieber was a kid when he came around. Everybody's like, where was his parents?
How old was he? 15, 16?
Yeah.
15, 16-year-old James would still be like, get your ass away from me with that shit.
Yeah.
I feel 100%. Like in those situations, man, I don't have anything to say about Diddy. What I have critiques about are the people, because people want to live in a vacuum void of morality and integrity, and then do whatever it takes to get whatever end goal they want. But at the end of the day, you're going to be judged, or, you know what I'm saying? You still, that stuff comes back tenfold. And you have eventually you're going to have your kids looking at you, the life you lived, and the example you set. And I feel like if you maintain your integrity, you always stand on your square, at the end of the day, you may rub people the wrong way, and you be like, man, he is who he is. But you can hold up for everything that you put out into the world, you know what I mean? You don't have to worry about that.
100%. Mika?
Yeah, he ran me with that one. He's like, no, but because even I was about to say, because even when they was asking Ursula the other day, they was like, "Would you send your kids to P Diddy camp?" Hell no. And so he's like, I didn't hold up, but he was young too when he went through. So
supposedly he's the one that sent Justin Bieber though.
Ooh, that's what I'm saying. I guess he said I ain't gonna be the only one to go through
48 hours.
What?
Usher stayed with him for a year or 2 years or something, a year. But he sent Justin to him for like 48 hours. But here's what I think Diddy is a victim.
Oh, come on, villain. the world want to hear this. But you said it last time because you was like, if somebody didn't speak up and let him keep doing it, then, he's supposed to. But Cassie did speak out. And then it looks like Kim was trying to speak out, but she got killed before she could actually, or died.
Cassie didn't speak out.
The video spoke out for her?
Why she didn't leave then?
Who? Cassie?
Yeah.
Well, she did speak out. That's why she got the money, the hush money. That's why I was saying we got all these P daddies without the hush money out here.
So you would agree that
Mika, Mika, let my hand go. Mika's hurting my hand, guys.
So you okay? Let's say if I were first I'll say why he's the victim.
Okay.
And then remind me and I'll explain how they created the monster that is Diddy. Right. All right. So the reason I say that he's a victim is because if you go all the way back let's go back to the 12th century.
Okay.
The 12th century, that's when you had the Knights of the Royal Knights of the Templar. Knights of the Templar were basically, they were the first ones to create the banking system. So they created interest in the banking system, and they had money. And so if you go from one province or one property or whatever, they had a banking system that said, okay, as long as you got this and you show this, so you don't have to carry around your cash or your gold, we'll make sure that by the time that you get on this island over here or this country, they'll give you the same amount of money and go. So the Vatican was like, man, they running. They got a lot of control on people, and they got actually just as much control on people as we got. We need to fight this because we don't want anybody having just as much control over the people as we have.
Okay.
And so basically, that's where Friday the 13th came from. Because on this one night, in particular, one day, they went and rounded up all of the Knights of the Royal Templar and burned them at the stake. So that's where Friday the 13th come from. The Vatican met its opposition, killed it. You fast forward a couple of centuries later, you got the Salem witch trials. You're a witch. And if you cannot prove that you're not a witch, because what we're going to do, witches can't breathe underwater. Well, they can't breathe underwater. Well, shit, no can a human. Or if we set you on fire and you stay alive, then you're not a witch. Anybody could be called a witch.
Right.
So in 1909, starting in 1909 all the way to maybe 1931, if you wanted to burn down the black side of town, the only thing that you had to say was a black man did something to a white woman.
Yeah.
there was nobody that went to jail, but all of these towns were decimated. So let's come to 2000. Let's go 2024 back to early 2000s. Diddy, sexual deviancy. R. Kelly, sexual deviancy. Bill Cosby, sexual deviancy. Michael Jackson, sexual deviancy. It's still the same plan. Now, let's just say hypothetically, if Diddy had came out 10 years ago and say he belonged to the LGBTQ community, what he was doing to these people he would be protected. Because if you go down to Bourbon Street, you know when you cross over that last street, you get to seeing all of the flags and what people are wearing. It's things that go on down there that is not spoken about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Diddy's parties, where all of this debauchery was going on, when we were hearing about a Diddy party, those parties grew in numbers. And nobody left out that next morning, I'm going straight to the police because this ain't right.
Yeah.
Nobody came out, but they came out when they didn't get what it is that they want, or they found out that they had been recorded.
Yeah.
My thing is, if you are ashamed that you had a penis in your mouth, male or female, and you didn't say, let's say hypothetically, I'm somewhere compromising myself and somebody's holding the evidence of me compromising myself, no matter what it is, I would much rather admit to it than to give you all of that. Because nowadays, if a person is gay, man, you'll hear about that for 3 minutes and nobody else talking about it.
Yeah.
So for the people so my thing is like, let's go back to the assault, and like you were saying just a minute ago, and then I'll go into the second phase of it. The assault, if Cassie was remotely concerned about getting him off the streets, she would have foregone the money and said, no, I want his ass in jail.
Yeah.
That'll make me whole. You know what made her whole? $30 million. So now you don't get to throw Cassie in my face when you're talking about Diddy, because she was all right with 30 million, made her good. So you can't say that she took that ass, oh, he's such a monster. No, he paid his debt. Mm-hmm. The court said he paid his debt, so you cannot use double jeopardy. But you can in the court of public opinion.
Yeah.
Use double jeopardy.
Yes.
If your intention is to tear down this man, and why, if I mention Diddy, Kelly, Cosby, Michael Jackson, it seems like every black man with a legacy, if you don't want to inspire young black children, should take away all of their heroes. The same way that we don't talk about anything that happened from 1865 to 1950 and how productive black people were, we don't talk about that. Mm-hmm. Intentionally. So the reason that I said Diddy's the victim, and the other side of that was the reason that Diddy is how it is that he is. If I'm your son,
Mm-hmm.
and I say something and I cuss, and you like, he ain't doing nothing but repeating what it is that he heard, and tell him now how he said it on that movie, and then I giggle, and you parade me in front of your friends, and I cuss, and everybody laugh, and all of a sudden, when I'm 13, 14, and I'm cussing at school, you made it all right. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, if the first victim of Diddy and the second victim of Diddy did not say nothing, that made it okay in Diddy's head, or it made it, or what they did say something to him, and he's like, well, here's X amount of money, or here's a role, or here's a contract. To them, to Diddy, he was like, oh shit, I get to do what it is I want to do as long as I can compensate people.
Yeah.
Because they're objective. They don't care about what it is I did to them. They just want to be compensated for what I did to them. And if I get assaulted and I'm the third person, well, I want Diddy to go to jail. And while we're at court and I got my lawyer and the judge in front of me, I want them two motherfuckers to go to jail too.
Yeah, the quiet people.
The quiet people, because had he been taken off the streets, I wouldn't have got assaulted.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Diddy's responsible as the assailant. And because the two people before me did not say nothing, they are accomplices. Cassie was an accomplice because she took the money and knocked his ass off the street. Just my opinion.
I see them whores, man.
I know, right? And then my tail.
You're right.
Man, I saw an interview and this lady was asking, I think it was Method Man, is hip hop dead? And you know, in relation to like what Diddy did, and he was like, yeah, I don't see, you know, the relationship. And I agree with that, because I mean, in this instance, or even if you talk about Bill Cosby, or even Alec Baldwin, nobody's saying, well, comedy is dead because of what Bill. Film is dead because Alec Baldwin shot somebody in the face. You know what I mean? But in all of this, my issue with it is the accountability piece. Like I said, like people want to live in a vacuum void of, you know, morality and accountability, and people onlooking, they say, oh well, now that's the roadmap. Like whatever, doing this something strange for a piece of change or whatever, that becomes a roadmap. So then people are like, okay, well that's the roadmap. I'm going to pursue that, and then when it doesn't turn out the way they want it to turn out, and then it's, well, let me cry foul now because I didn't get the outcome that I wanted.
Yeah.
But I did this messed up stuff. And it's like, nah, man, you gotta live in that integrity. Because everybody wants the benefits of doing the work without having done the work.
Yeah.
And it's, you can't avoid the work.
You cannot. That's where those weak men and those strong, independent women come in at. A lot of them won't do the work. So now it's like, here I am, a sassy man, you know, because those, you know those little sassy men, and which have made them be weakened because they're like returning energy instead of just standing on their ground of this is.
Well, where did those? I mean, okay, let's unpack that. Sassy men were created by women that didn't learn how to cohabitate.
Yeah, what you're just saying. Said cuss again.
What that no, because
they helped that.
It was a desire to be happy and not a desire to have a man in the house with their son.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because they're having a man in the house versus you being happy. If you have a male child, or if you're a female and you're in the house and it's just you and your daughter, you need protection.
Yeah. I agree with that.
So your happiness is not paramount here. Your protection is paramount. And so if we're still going to continue to unpack it. When you get these boys, I think me personally, I think the crime rate is as high as it is simply because you have a lot of single women raising young black men.
Yeah.
And because they're not as unforgiving and intolerable when it comes to the behavior of young boys, that's where femininity comes into play, and that's where that's and first and foremost, that's where when you give little boys concessions and more understanding and not expectation, when you don't give a little boy expectation, he becomes complacent. When he becomes complacent, he does not have any aspirations to do what young men do because he can always fall back to his mama understand.
You said when you don't give them expectation?
Right.
What you mean?
When you don't place expectation on little boys, expectations are the reason that and this is what I explained to my kid one time. The reason that you have chores is because chores become responsibilities. Responsibilities become habits. Habits become work ethic.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So regardless of whether or not you motivated, I don't give a fuck about you being motivated. Yeah. If I could outwork consistently any barber because I'm disciplined when it comes to my business. If he is motivated, he could possibly be only motivated 3 times out of the week or 3 times out of the month. Mm-hmm. If I'm going to consistently come in here, regardless of whether or not I want to be here or not, I'm going to consistently show up on time. I'm going to consistently and disciplinedly stay on task. No matter how much of a good conversation me and you are having, I got somebody coming in a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you more than welcome to stay and have a conversation, but I got somebody coming in 30 minutes.
What's the C word again?
Consistency.
See, that's how you win anything. You stay with it. You keep going.
And you discipline.
Yeah.
So regardless of whether or not I love my wife or not, regardless of whether or not I love my children or not, I'm going to be dedicated to them. Mm-hmm. I am disciplined for them. I may not love consistently throughout my lifetime my mama, my children, my wife. My love can fluctuate, but my discipline to be there for my family, my discipline to be there for my friends, my dedication to be there for my friends, my family, and my children. No.
Yeah.
Fear don't even get in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why people say loyalty over love.
Right.
Yeah, you know.
I'm not concerned about their happiness. I'm supposed to be doing this regardless of whether or not I'm motivated to do it or not. Regardless of whether or not I'm tired. No. Yeah. An assailant coming in and disrupting my peace, bro. I got a revolver and a semi-automatic for that ass.
Yeah.
That revolver, you can pull the revolver out of the reservoir, that thing on fire.
He said, try Jesus, not him.
Not at all. And then I'm going back to sleep because I know that's what I was born for. That's what I signed up for with my family. Dude, I'm ready to kill somebody or to die for them.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to certain aspects about, let's say, it's just like when we were talking about earlier, before you came in, we were talking about, protect, you gotta protect everybody. Nah, everybody ain't deserving to be protected. Somebody can be getting the shit beat out of them outside of my shop. I'm closing the curtains.
You're not gonna call Brandon?
Ain't none of my business. I'll let the police handle it. I might call. If it's a woman beating a man or a man beating a woman, that ain't none of my business. Because if I go out there and I lose my life, who's protecting my family? Mm-hmm. That ain't none of my business. Yeah. I didn't go to school to be called to break up arguments and fights no. I didn't. I'm closing my curtain. Somebody at the stoplight, they'll get them. Ain't none of my business if a woman getting her head bashed in or a woman slicing up a man. I gotta go home tonight. I got children. I got lunches to make in the morning. I got lessons to teach.
I'm glad you said that because I was just thinking, like, we always want the women to be protected, but do us as women protect the men? And when I say that, I'm meaning, why would you want a man always fighting, like, and when I say
toxic femininity.
yeah, you know, like I'm not being protected.
Message.
But you would be protected if you would stop the drama, you know, and that's just not on women account, men too. You know what I'm saying? You got these women fighting over you and stuff like that. Y'all know all that old crazy stuff that go on out here. So it's like, okay, how can you be protected and you're always in something that's gonna cause you?
Well, because, and the reason I say that is because, well, to answer that question, if you cannot be told what to do, you cannot be protected.
Right.
If I say don't go out, it's 11 o'clock and baby, you don't need to wear that, and you go anyway, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with
You said that before. It's like,
yeah,
girl, he ain't gonna let you come out. Girl, you might as well come on. Throw some sparkle on.
Now, when something happened to you, no, I'm not coming to get you. I'm not coming to protect you. Because number one, if I'm going to kill or die for you, don't place me in a position where I have to.
Yeah.
But if you leave and I said that, baby, I don't feel comfortable with you going out wearing that and at this time, this time and to that place, and you go anyway, well, what happens to you happens to you. Ain't none of my business. Because if I come there trying to protect you and you somewhere that you doing what you shouldn't be doing, you where you shouldn't be, and it's the time that you shouldn't be there, if I come and get my head bust to the white meat and I die, who's raising my children? All because you are insatiable and can't be told what to do.
Yeah.
You cannot, I cannot protect who I cannot tell what to do.
Yeah.
If I say get down, they shooting, and you're like, well, I get down, but why you sitting?
Right. True story here. True story time real quick. Cause listen, not husband and wife at the time, couple go out. It was a girls' night. The guy really wasn't supposed to go to the same place that the girl went to. Guy went anyway. Something happened in the club, and now the guy has to, put his chest out. He didn't have to, but he did. Because if he had and I don't want to say tender, but if he had just let her have a girls' night, he probably wouldn't have got his head bashed and stomped in. Now, how do you, what do you think of something like that? Like what? Because if your wife is saying, well, not y'all were dating, says, hey, I'm just going out with my not maybe my coworkers, you know, and we just gonna have a couple drinks and stuff. We just want to talk or whatever.
How do I handle it?
Yeah, like your perspective. So and I'm just giving you this. So she's gonna go out. It's not at a bad time. She's got on. She's covered. She's not, out there where somebody can just grab her because she looks so, she parts out and the open invitation. But she is out, and now you can't handle the fact that she done went out. So now you done popped up where she at.
No,
like
call me if you need me. Be safe.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But you got those friends that
taking into consideration that he done popped up and the whole nine. That's what happens when you haven't been taught by a strong man. Cause again, that sounds like a man that got taught about love by somebody that wasn't doing it right. Because truth be told, if I'm a workaholic. If I'm with you, it's because I trust you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be with somebody that I do not trust.
Yeah.
Because I know my value.
Come on.
Now the conversation goes into Now let's take this conversation into the direction. This is where I wanted to get to when we're talking about strong or weak men. There is no such thing as a weak man when you know your value. And you going off into the dating pool. It's like, you can fuck up over me if you want to. I will make somebody else's lifestyle better. I will place in, because of the amount of weak and sorry men, my competition is not that. It's not. It ain't that many.
Sorry,
Baby, I'm fighting on a pinhead. It ain't that many of us.
You're right.
What do you say to, it's going to be some women commenting saying, well, I'm not compromising because I know my value.
Yeah, but and so those same women would be 50 and 60 and 70 years old talking about she ain't compromising, and I'm waiting on God to send me a good man.
You got men like that too. I was just going there. You got those men that ain't got no hair anymore. Mm-hmm. They done fell for grace. You see they skin kind of, they ain't got that tight no more.
Yeah.
That six pack, now they ready to settle down. You like, dude, what's that hanging at your knee? And that's not what you think it is. Those other two things. Yeah. Like, now you ready to settle down. You see, you you gotta look at it in the farm animal. You done seen them men who think that they're the best catch ever, and now they like, well, what happened to you? Now you want to be told?
Those men can get women faster than a woman can get a man.
Well, I agree. Because it takes a while for a man to build the type of value that most women want. Well,
men get better as they get old. They become much more. Men can be more utilized at an older age than a woman can be.
As far as what we're oppositely attracted to, I think.
Well, a woman, I just got finished saying just a minute ago, a woman will date a man just for a free dinner. So a woman will get with a man with his belly down to his, or whatever. She will get with him because if he's got 401k,
come on,
he's got a retirement, he got a settlement, he ain't got to have no teeth in the front. And she will get with him. And will act like she's just as happy as any woman in the world with a man that's 6 foot tall with a six pack and all of the sixes.
Yeah.
And especially if she's got 3 or 4 other men children and he has the capability of taking care of all those children, she'll be with him.
And you know what? People are so hung up on those ladies with all those kids, but y'all never say anything, and I ain't saying just y'all, but the world doesn't say anything about the man who has made all these kids and just keep going.
Okay. All right. Well, I can say something about those men.
Okay.
Why do women keep sleeping with them?
Ooh.
Because if I'm muddy and I got muddy boots and I just came out of the woods from hunting, you got a brand new car, and let's call the car, it's a Ford Vaginate.
I cannot. Not Vaginate.
It's a Ford Vaginate. It's brand new. It's got all the bells and whistles. It's got Italian leather.
European lights.
Yeah, they got a heater that'll warm up the masses. When you let me get in with my muddy boots, and by the time that you take me to my destination, I left mud all on the inside of your Ford Vaginate. Am I the one that's wrong? This is your vehicle. You can let in and out whoever gets.
Jeremy, yeah, she's a good Samaritan. She saw you on the road, and she gonna make sure that she's been a good Christian woman. So she's wants
so good that she's
gonna
pick up the next 3 or 4.
Hold on. Wait.
You couldn't pick him.
Hold on. Like Mister. Hold on, like Al.
Wait a minute. I'm just asking for a friend for real.
I'm about to get like Albert now. Wait a minute, because if she a Christian woman, she ain't supposed to be letting no muddy boots on the inside of her Ford Vaginate.
Oh, we're talking about a car?
Yeah.
Woo!
Because and therein lies most of the blurred line perspective about when we're talking about, let's call it ain't shit men.
Yeah.
Getting with women, and these ain't shit men got 3-4 kids. I never let anybody hold anything over my head because I got to go to sleep with. I got 3 children by 3 different women. I'm that guy.
Yeah.
But I know that there have been times where I've turned down women. I've turned down way more than I done got. But the crazy part about it is the more that I was comfortable being me and knowing all of my attributes and standing strong and that's what most of the attraction was. I was like, nah, man, especially when I was, when I was younger, way more attractive. Like, I'm telling you, I ain't the one that you want to fool with. And it was just like,
I'm gonna change his heart.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
right.
penetrate his soul.
Yeah, because we like women,
Love that challenge.
Yeah.
All right, so is it the man's fault? Because women make themselves available for the ain't shit guy. And they will shun and ridicule the good guys. And these good guys, them idiots, they will continue to overdo, which is why which is why you have women that are below average and don't have any attributes to add to or be worth producing a family with, because guys at about 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, they start to compromise themselves and they start to offer stuff, and they'll buy it or they'll do whatever, and they make those women think that they're worth more than what it is that they are. Because here's what happens with the levels when we're talking about men and women and dating. Levels start to do like this. Those levels start to fluctuate. Some people think that they're worth more than what it is that they are. Now, if you done somebody pay for that thing 4-5 times, that don't mean it's good. That means that nigga may have ran out of options and he's just like, well, shit, I ain't got no good game, but I got some money. And so the same thing happens when we're talking about a guy, when a woman, I always see me, y'all got some bad wrong with him. Yeah, but he paying $300-$400 for dinners and he paying some car notes and some.
Yeah.
That don't mean he's a good guy.
Yeah.
He stayed with his mama.
Yeah.
So he can afford to go.
Yeah.
Right. He doesn't have stability for himself.
Yeah.
Because he's too busy out here buying sex.
Yeah.
So it's just like, what we see is not the reality of what things are.
Come on.
And people get delusional after a while.
Because that's cheaper than actually like living in it, dealing with all the responsibility that comes with it. Oh, well, I'll just take you away for a nice weekend. That's, man.
Come on.
Can I get some of that?
It's on aisle 1.
Save a little money.
And that's another thing. Like when you like you were saying, sometimes the guys do these things and then start talking about the next guy, because they'll call the weak man out. So, and that same as a woman, like, man, you can do all this stuff. You live at home with your mama. You ain't got no bills or nothing. You're not doing anything that's responsible, because you. And I'm not knocking anybody that lives at home with your mom and dad, because I'm like, listen, whoo. If you're doing it right and saving your money, so when you do get out there, you're doing the responsible thing, kudos. But if you're the one who's at home with your mom and dad or whatever, and all you doing is buying a woman or a man or the next pair of tennis shoes, all the jewelry, all, like, you could never understand what a real wife goes through.
Yeah.
You know, I got the
Yeah.
feedback. You mentioned like when you talk about like men judging other men.
Yeah.
I got that feedback from the last episode because we made a comment that only men can judge or differentiate. You know, who or tell who the good men are. And I think that some people, I feel like, may confuse that and say, well, this is a good man, and it's somebody that likes me, but really it's somebody that's not really a man of substance, and really he's hating. So in those situations, like I think I would tell people, like, you gotta look at the motivation. Like me talking to you, Mika, my village perspective sister.
Right.
You know, like the motivation is different. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, or Jeremy talking to, I don't know if you have female siblings, or like I have a sister, but or like uncles, or you know what I mean, like a father speaking to a young woman. But I think that it's important to look at the motivations in those situations to see, like, okay, is this somebody that's trying to get with me, and just possibly just hating on somebody that actually is a good person,
right?
Or is this somebody that's genuinely in my corner and wanting best for me,
right? And I was glad that you said that when I was asking about the guy that went out with the went out with his girlfriend or whatever. It made me feel like his leadership, like his daddy or mama, like, where did they go wrong with not allowing you to trust people, or did you not play enough, or what's your childhood trauma on not being able to let a woman go out and have free time? Is it that you can't trust yourself to go out and just drink and come back home, so you feel like you gotta watch your mate? Or like you see those kind of people like that, like jealous mates and stuff, and
all of that comes in what you seen your parents do, what you've been exposed to by your with your friends, how you did not get educated by somebody with your first or your last relationship.
Yeah.
Because think about it, when you're a teenager and there's not a responsible parent around to talk you through a bad breakup with your first breakup, that now you're about to start perpetuating some bad habits because you have not been corrected.
Yeah.
With you two. I had to tell my son, man, this your first, this your second, this your third relationship, and after 29 days you crying.
Yeah.
Boy, you got 15 more girlfriends to go through before you even start dating the kind that you actually should be dating.
Yeah.
So now, and when I told him, I was like, and I hope that you get more you need more experience, because by the time that you start doing what it is that you're supposed to be doing and how it is that you want to do, because he is a loving boy. He is eventually he's going to be a protective father. He's going to be a great husband. He's going to be a wonderful family man. Mm-hmm. Because of what he's gone through, what he's seen, what he has aspirations of doing. My objective is to make sure that he goes through the ones that he needs to go through to get the experience, so he can find what it is that he so rightfully deserves. But most importantly, what I'm going to teach him is, don't stay where you at if you're not recognized and you're not appreciated.
Ooh, I really, really talk to people about this. Do not go where you're tolerated. You
said that a couple of times.
Yeah, you need to go where you're celebrated.
Yep.
Because those are your people. That's your person. That's your tribe. You get what I'm saying? Like, and I think we spend so much time on the challenge of, I'm gonna make them like me, or I'm gonna win them over. Like, no. On to the next, so you can have that good family, those good friends, you know what I'm saying, the good in your life. you know, because you're not just being tolerated. You like, if he's got all those, he's gonna be celebrated. But right now, he's finding out where he's celebrating, where he's tolerated at. And another thing I forgot to say earlier in the piece, when I was saying the strong, independent women against just the strong women, the grandmothers, the mothers, all of that before us coming along as the daughters and the granddaughters, but before the wave of social media, it was just strong women. Mm-hmm. Social media really made us attack the
independence.
Yeah, they put that title on, because it's like, I can show you my bags. I can show you this. Beforehand, you had to go to somebody's house to see stuff like this. So you get what I'm saying? You couldn't. Women wanted to be married, I feel like, before a lot of the social media. After the social media, is like, I can't be cheated on. But you cheat on yourself daily.
Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and segue.
Yeah.
Because where it is
that's some unpacking, I know.
Well, no, but that's a good segue into the leadership that's in the balance.
Yeah.
Because I've said in the past, I think in private conversation, we try to warn women, because and hear me out, because if we're talking about strong independent women, if we're gonna unpack, when back in the 80s when men were saying, baby, I think you need to be careful about hanging out with the gay guys,